Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to GameStar TV for the official Blizzard ANZ HGC qualifiers. It is Season 4. It is Top 8 time. This is where the big boys duke it out. Big shout out to our latest subscriber in the chat, Ryu, one of the newest additions to Nomia. Ryu, now that you get access to all of the sweet Twitch emotes that we have here at GameStar, you also get access to the VODs instantly as soon as this broadcast is completed. You don't have to wait the 24 hours until we get them up on YouTube, as we are inclined to do due to contractual agreements. But if you do want access to all of the games with the glory that is Twitch chat, check us a subscription, and all that cash will go to helping casters get to events, as well as prizes for our own competitions here at GameStar. If you have just joined us, ladies and gentlemen, Nomia defeated Crimson Esports on stream to start the night off. The other game that was going on was Darksided versus NMD. Darksided ended up taking that series with an absolute cracker of a game, number 1, according to GL Phoenix, which will be up on YouTube for your viewing pleasure sometime within the next 24 to 48 hours. But Madcos Bad and Pocket Me Lighter, unfortunately, are the first two teams to bow out. They will have to come back again tomorrow and prove that they've got what it takes to qualify through and duke it out with these boys again. And the other games that will be going on in this round are NMD versus Ethereal Esports and Crimson Esports versus Ground Zero. Both of those winners will take Siege 3 and 4. But on stream now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be bringing you Nomia versus Darksided. Remember, follow the channel and type !GS HOTS into the chat to get your hands on a Garrosh skin bundle, thanks to our folks at Blizzard ANZ. But we're going to jump straight back into it. And if you hadn't had enough of Dragonshire, well, you are in luck, because Nomia have chosen it again for their home turf. They're going up against Darksided, so without further ado, I'm going to pass you back over to Rap God Skimmy and his partner in crime, Van.
Thank you very much there, Care Fox. Absolutely. We're jumping back into a map that nobody's ever seen. I don't think we've seen this once at all, Vandy.
I mean, it looks kind of new, but I tell you what, it must be that Game of Thrones going around. I hear there's been dragons, fire, explosions.
Must be.
Lit season. I think that's what it's really coming down to. They're really pledging their allegiance to House Targaryen.
So what are you trying to say? This is a Game of Thrones meta?
Yep. 100% double supports, there's lots of killing, and we've got a couple of feuds. And I mean, the most interesting thing, and I mean, this can also tie into Game of Thrones, we've got 2 ex-team members of Nomia actually making up the Darkside roster. So Robodoba, his new team, is now Darksided, has been picked up by them. And Sashin, long time ago, used to be a part of the original Nomia crew.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be really the interesting one to see. This is what our Season 3 Grand Finals were. Back with the old Nomia roster, the roster that stayed around for such a long time, the one that went overseas just for the Western Clash that's been, they went the full mile in that best-of-5 Grand Final. 3-2 on the day to Nomia, obviously. And now with these new rosters, this is going to be really cool to see what Darksided can do. These guys, with Robodoba in their addition, have so much information now against Nomia. How they can play it into their aspect is going to be the really big talking point.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting exactly for that reason. So Sashin, when he had Negative Synergy disbanded, we were saying he's worked with the boys, he must go inside their head. Now they've got Robodoba. Once again, it's all about how they worked as a team, things that they can utilize, comps that they like to run. It's all that information now that will now help the new team, I guess, come up against Nomia. But Nomia's got fresh faces. With that comes fresh new perspectives. I really want to see how the new teams kind of stack up today. I want to see how they feel each other out, because I believe that's what it's going to be. The fact that we've seen Nomia now pick this map back to back, it shows that they feel quite comfortable on this. Perhaps they've picked on it, and like I said, this could be one of their go-to maps. It seems like every team has one map where they expect to win. They choose it because they know the ins and outs of it. Perhaps this is now Nomia's map of choice.
Talking of that one, Vandy, yeah, let's actually go over it. So Nomia decided to go for the map pick, be it Dragonshire, but the map bans themselves. Nomia banned away Battlefield of Eternity, whereas Darksided banned away Infernal Shrines. Infernal Shrines used to be the Nomia fan favorite. That was their home ground. And if we flip the switch on its head for Darksided, it's always been Tomb of the Spider Queen. I suppose this map really is the hybrid between the two. But let's jump into the bans and the picks in this game straight away. Vala's been taken off the board. Same with Tesla, locking in that all-important Malfield for the first pick.
So it's interesting. You take away the Valor and Tacita, and perhaps Oriel drops a little bit in terms of, I guess, how desirable she is. Wasting no time in taking the mouthfeel away from Nomia. Perhaps watching the games as well. They know the sort of composition would be Ryumak perhaps picking up that one. It really allows him to control that solo lane mouthfeel. He works quite well due to the fact that a solo lane is generally someone with a large health pool. That's what Malthael really works up against. The Greymane and Uther, they go so well together. However, Arthas, that's one of Sashin's, I guess, go-to heroes, as well as Genji. They're still up for play.
Let's actually throw this back a bit. I mean, Malthael was the go-to hero when Vikarak was on the roster. That was the hero that he found so much success with. As Darkseid, even as a roster, did a lot of damage towards them. I mean, actually warranting respect bans as that series progressed. But talking about the bans themselves, as you mentioned, Arthas and Genji religiously, regardless of the series, whatever it might have been, it was always take those picks away. But the adaptation's been made with Vala being taken off. They go for the Arthas. They go for the Oriel, which actually isn't too bad of a battery combined with the Malthael. With that Reaper's Mark. So obviously looking for another pick to complement that in the bot lane, but Greymane and Uther locked in straight away. Not going to give away too much. Divine Shield on the Worgen, looking to get those kills. And once again, it's Cassia taken out.
Nami, they really respect that hero and a lot of what she can bring. It kind of nullifies their composition. So if they're going dive, they're telegraphing, we've got the Greymane, we've got the Uther, we can shred your tanks, we've got the dive, your squishies, we really want to get them down. Cassia can really put a deterrent in that, really stop that in their tracks. And I mean, they've already got that Oriel to deal with. And the Stitches, so dark-sided. They are no strangers to how that works, and they do not want to let that fall into Nomia's hands.
Both Sashin and Penta find so much value in that one pick alone. And let's talk about what we've seen on display tonight already. The Arthas hasn't seemed to be that much of a match towards the Stitches when he's running on in. If he can't get that quick kill, if he can't get the execution and get himself out, Stitches is saying, you're coming right back here and we are going to execute you. And combined with the Uther, that is your bread and butter combo. Now, let's see what these next two picks are with the Greymane and Uther. Obviously, Dahaka is still available. You've got the likes of Lunara still on the ball, which I said is a great pick against Arthas and Malthael and is a denial towards the Oriel for the battery.
It is. And I mean, I keep harping on about how Oriel needs a battery, but we're really forgetting as long as she can use her Righteous Assault to continuously hit heroes to generate that hope, I mean, provided she doesn't get low enough, she can almost be a self-sufficient battery if worse comes to worse. The Falstad I like. I mean, we've seen him in a few games back-to-back now. Whether the degree of success, he's been on the losing team actually on both games. Let's see now if Nomia, what have they got with that? As I said, this is one of Ryumak's also favorite heroes to play. He feels very, very confident, comfortable on this hero. And the ETC, that's another potential global if he chooses to go stage dive.
So interesting to see him actually go for the Falstad because he's really fallen out of the fold of things given that there are better picks available. But when Vala's taken off, when Cassia is too, and if Greymane's already picked up, Falstad definitely starts to find his own combined with the Tychus. But Dahaka, for the most part, does a lot more work. This, to me, suggests they're saying, we understand that you're going to go a dive comp. We need that Gus utility because that is going to be such a pain for us to deal with. And you've got the ETC, as you mentioned, the Mosh Pit, finding so much value, especially in recent times, looking to shut people down. But Li Ming and Lunara are locked in. They've got the resets, and they've got the slowing potential.
And she just pairs so well with Oriel, especially when that Valor is out of the picture. Lunara can sort of reign supreme, spread that poison, get it ticking down, and that really assists Li Ming. If they get low enough, that's going to be the reset going up. I really want to see coming out of Nomia for their last pick, perhaps something that they can then utilize to get a pick of their own. So they do have the Falstad ETC. I wouldn't mind seeing another beefy frontliner. I mean, Dahaka wouldn't be too far out of the norm, or even get that Illidan out, but with that Arthur C, it's like a deterrent on that pick. So if they were anticipating, they know Nomia likes to run that Illidan, they need to take it off the board. So really smart drafting by Darksided. I'm just wondering what Nomia are going to use, where they offer more damage.
I mean, it's this classic stuff from Darksided, right? This is the traditional mold that they've always had. They play aggressive comps. They're not about rotations in terms of global ability. They just want to meet you head on with a 5v5 and just win team fights flat on out. Final pick, the cooldown is there. Dahaka is locked in, and this, like I say, this is what Nomia used to do. They were known for double supports, or they were known for global outdrafting. And I'm liking this from them. They say, we understand what your strength is, Darksided, but we have the mental ability with that game sense to know you're going to be here, this is what you're after, and this is what we're not going to let you ever have available to you during this game.
Exactly. As I said, it was going to come down to the Dahaka Illidan. Illidan, just a poor choice because he would have gotten so hard countered with what's on available. So by going that Dahaka, as you said, it needs to be about utilizing the global and just out-rotating. They need to be smart with how they play it.
Well, let's jump into this one, Vanny. It's been a long time coming. We've had the off-season. We had the one-day qualifier, the one-day competition leading up into this to see where teams are at, and the stakes are high. Rosters have changed. Members have swapped around. People know each other. This is the highest level of Heroes of the Storm. Nomia against Darkside. A repeat of the grand finals for Season 3. And we are kicking things off right now, once again on Dragonshire. Let's introduce this team on the right-hand side. In the red, it is Darksided, led by Session. And he's going to be on Arthas. Robodoba, the newest addition, once a part of Nomia. He is now on Malthael, Moops on Oriel, Haki on Lunara, and Demise surrounded out on Leeming.
And the boys in blue, it's the Nomia roster. The old faces, however, Fat94 on Falstad. We've got John on Greymane, Vanilla on Uther, Ryu, new face number 1, playing Dahaka, Penta, second new face to the roster on ETC. So let's see what they've got. They definitely, Skimmy, feel like old Nomia in the games that we've seen from them so far.
And this is a map that they've always found success on as well, because the Bermuda Triangle, we always talk about it, the Death Bush, the ability to hide in there and really cause issues for your opponents. But a team like Nomia, with the experience they have, will respect this, will understand this, hence why they've drafted so heavily into the global ability. It's a case of who can play their style, who has to play reactive, and who has to be the one leading the charge.
Let's see what they've got. You can see the respect coming out of the team. There's been no clash yet, with neither team wanting to commit too many resources. It's now scoping each other out. None of that sort of ARAM, all for one, smack up in the mid lane. Either team, they respect, and they know kind of what's on offer. I mean, yes, it's not the finals yet, but it's going to be setting the tone for something greater, I guess. So you want to see their power levels, I guess, for either team. How they fare against each other with the new rosters.
You want to see, as this new season begins, how these teams have basically developed during the off-season, how they train leading into this one, and how they fare as this 4-week league progresses on through. As straight away, we look at these level 1 talents. Looking at it, Rhyme is being picked up by Arthas. He's going to opt for the block. Means that if, the likes of Greymane or Falsa gets into that front line, he will not be as likely to get one shot. Weak in the early game, arguably, but much stronger in the later game, where those auto attacks really start to pack a punch.
Definitely, Dahaka picking up that enhanced agility, it really telegraphs to us that it'll be about using this utility that you get from Brush Stalker, and either if that's getting ganks or just making sure that he can rotate faster around the map, he values that over a little bit more of that essence sustain that you get in lane.
Fat94 forced to go up to the top lane and help out Rio here. Definitely the Malthael bodying that lane, forcing out that 2v1 pressure, commanding so much. It was quite close there, because otherwise Darkseid would have picked up a very early dragon, but the denial was there and it was good. Session was hungry for that gank. He scouts out where Fat94 is hanging out, but bottom lane is really where it's at right now for Darkseid. They've got the commanding pressure with that Oriel, and they're definitely letting Nomia know of it.
And they also, once again, have capped both shrines. Whether they can capture it, we'll wait to see. Fat94 happily soaking in that middle lane, but it's really a lot of that bullying coming out. Great detainment strike there by Moops onto Vanilla. John, he's got his work cut out for him.
I was just going to say, Rio is a god. He literally got jumped upon by 2 people, and he jukes the Howling Blast, he jukes the Death Shroud, he makes sure that he does not drop one down, and that would have been huge for them right there. It would have been the first blood, would have been an ability for them to pick up a kill. Talking of which, Penta comes to the gank of the Session. The Frozen Temples will only do so much. Fat94's looking for it, but he can't find it. Down to 80 health, Andy.
Literally, Session lives to tell the tale. So he's saying, you're not the only one, Ryu, with a god sense. I've got it too. Or perhaps he was just lucky. Good talent choice there with Ryan, getting some value. And some nice, fancy footwork there as well.
Fancy footwork indeed. You can start to see really how hard this is for Nomia in the bot lane. Villa getting whittled down by the likes of Lunara, by the likes of Oriel. He just cannot duel with the sustain, and this is why they've gone for the double global. They're saying we don't want to fight. We have to try and make these fights short, sharp, and quick. And it's exactly what they have. If not, we have to out-rotate you. We have to find XP by sort of drawing you out, and splitting that 5 men apart.
That's what they're going to do in that top lane. Robodoba is now the 1-4. Fat94, the rotation finally got a kill. Now it will really free up that lane for Umac.
Yeah, there goes the emoji meta as well, with the thumbs up spray on the floor saying, cheers, mate. Thanks for the first blood.
Job's done. And arguably Ryu would be one of the best, I guess, picks not only just before Dahaka for that, but he knows the ins and outs of Malthael, playing that hero so much himself. He knows the weaknesses. Yes, he's weak to that crowd control, and especially if you're being pushed up that far with Malthael, I mean, you have the natural tendency to be able to push the lane up as well. You'll be open to a gank.
That seems to be where their pressure is right now for Nomia, exerting the double globals, always going for this top lane, so we cannot deal with this bottom lane. If we can't get the kills quickly, there's no way of actually finding any value from that opportunity. So keep abusing the top lane, keep bullying this Malthael, try and deny the amount of pressure that you can have, because right now it's just Hack and Demise running this bot lane.
They are, that trio down in the bot lane, they're having quite a nice time of it, and I mean, we have to give good, I guess, commendations to John and Vanilla for being able to, I guess, not die. More importantly, yes, they've lost a little bit, half of that front wall, the
top
gates
lane again.
Down, but yeah. Oh, again, Robot overfalls.
That's the shot call, and that is the strategy right now, and they just keep abusing it. Every time Flight is available, they go on in, and they shut Robodoba down, and that must feel good for Fat94, killing one of your old teammates.
I mean, it's just saying, why'd you leave us? It's about sending a message, right? Should have stuck with the boys.
Should have stuck with the boys. You're trying to leak our strats to the enemy, but I'm not going to let that happen. Let me just punch on through and say, never dog the boys.
That's Nomia though. When they draft a composition, they understand how they need to execute it. So great to see. A lot of the time we can see teams, they sort of panic. They say, all right, there's 3 in the volley, we need to put more resources in. No, it's not about that. And with that, Nomia is able to take the first Dragon Knight of the game.
First Dragon Knight of the game allows them to keep up this level lead they've already acquired. It's level 8 now to only level 8 being picked up by Darksided. Those 2 kills enough to justify that window. They pick up the mid tower. They open and expose that mid lane fault. They deny the Giants in the bot lane too, looking to try and go for the bot lane as well. Let's see if we can try and get 10 from this, force a fight, and deny this 5-man comp from Darksided.
So with all members, well, 4 members now of Darksided, that Dragon Knight is falling and falling quickly. Fat94 though not deterred. It's about getting that experience. If he can at least clear out this wall, that's still a nice chunk of experience obtained. He needs to make sure though that he can get on out. Not even breaking a sweat.
Not scared, not going to be too phased by that one whatsoever as they back away. Now, this is the interesting shot call. By not picking up those Giants straight away, they can actually escort them in with 10. They can force the fight and get the extra value by having that sieging pressure. Fat94 does get jumped upon, but Darksided can't do anything. They need those ultimates online.
They do, and Nomia, speaking of those heroics, they've picked up theirs. We've got the Mighty Gus. Go for the throat finally, perhaps being inspired a little bit. Skimmy, we keep saying the difference between Western and Eastern. We're seeing, I guess, go for the throat for the first time in a long time being picked up. And as well as the isolation, and this is going to be a mosh pit game.
Well, I mean, I suppose the difference between game number 1 and game number 2 in this case is Greyman is both the starter as well as the finisher. There's no real other person to try and help out and execute that. So they're looking to try and get people low with the likes of Dahaka and Fausted. And then they just jump in, get the resets. John punches on by smacking away at those threats. They have a short little window to abuse. Darksided soon to be 10 themselves. But the fact of the matter is they're just looking to abuse the map control, get more mercs, get more pressure, and try and force fights in that regard.
And I like that Penta's opted for that mosh pit as well. I feel like stage dive would have been a little bit of overkill. If he can even lock up, he just needs to be able to lock up a few members. Most notably, it would be that Oriel as well as Demise. And that's just going to be enough to really lock down the fight for Nomia to get those to get the kills that they need essentially in the team fights.
That's a good point you bring up there, Vanny, because there is no cleanse on the side of Oriel, so it's all reliant really on Demise. If you can land the wave of force, that single-handedly interrupts. So obviously, Aegis can do work in denying that one-shot kill and denying the reset potential that they're going to be looking for, but both teams have the ultimates. Fat94 is in the top lane looking for that kill. Sashin smells something is up. He's realizing, hey, Shrine spawned in 5 seconds. Surely they're looking for a kill. Their map is far too quiet for them to be elsewhere.
They've got the map sense. They've been playing this game long enough, especially as a team, to understand if you don't see them, it generally means bad news. Penta hanging around the Bermuda Triangle. No weird and wacky stuff will happen yet. Sashin being collapsed upon by 3 members of Nomia, forced to pop army there. 4 members with Fat94 joining the fray.
This is where it gets risky though, because if they can't get the kill quickly, then suddenly it really works into Darksided's favour. They're going to go on to Fat94. Thornwood Vine comes across, going to start to force some sustaining here from Vanilla, which has such long cooldowns on Uther, has to really find value from it. Penta jumps on in, he's looking for Demise to try and get a quick kill. The go for the throat comes across, the Divine Shield as well. Arguably a bit of a misplay because they don't get the execution, and now Darksided can surely capitalise on that.
Darkseid still have a lot of the heroics online, and as you said, it's now tricky business for Nomia. The fact that Sashin was able to survive 4 members ganking on down with Army of the Dead, that really punished Nomia.
Fan94 desperately trying to find a kill to way, or try and sway these shrines in their favor. They have the XP advantage still. The global advantage really working for them so far. 13 is quite near. Surely that will be the shot call for them. Fan94 is going to fly it in. He's looking for the gust. He's going to try and go for it. Goes on to moves. Who gets the power slide? Who gets the potential to die? Mosh Pit comes out. The wave of force is so good, but here comes the damage. Here comes the execution. Looking for John. Tormented Souls finds 1, and it finds a double as both ETC and Greymane fall.
Reaper's Mark found the value there, and this is going to be up to Darksided now to see if they can start to get some siege going, get a push going. Finally, they open themselves up with kills, and Rumak is trying his best up against Robodov, but there's just too much sustain coming out of Malthael, and Sashin as well. He's going for a gank. They want this Dragon Knight now on the side of Darksided.
And they can afford to do so. They capitalize on the ability to know that Divine Shield is down. There is no Holy Cow. That Divine Shield obviously preventing the mosh pit from being interrupted. But Demise was there. He said, you cannot kill my support. You don't have the damage. You don't have the potential to stick around. And now both teams are back even Stevens. Level 13 is being picked up, but we're still playing around those shrines.
Good point that you brought up there, Skimmy. With that fight, it really equalized the experience that the Globals were starting to reap for Nomia. So that just feels a little bit bad to have that work undone. And like you said, just a little bit shaky in that team fight. It's not going to punish Nomia too much. I mean, all that means is that now a little
bit... top lane though. Robodov is going to get jumped upon. Once again, their gank is good. They find it. They look for the execution. They abuse it. And that's once again playing into what they're trying to achieve.
Oh, that's good to see. I mean, Robodov is feeling picked on, I think, at this point now. He is doing his best. Army of the Dead needed to be popped up by Sashin. John, however, is the one that falls very low. Divine Shield perfectly timed to save.
Divine Shield is good. Gets John out of harm's way. They gust him into the towers. Isolation comes across right now, looking for a pick. It's on towards Oriel. He can't heal. He can't see. As they back on through that Bermuda Triangle, it is a 1-0 trade so far for Nomia. They are once again slightly irking in that level lead, but it is still such a tense moment now, Vandy.
Yep, Siege Golems down in that bot lane. Nomia need to respond to that. Penta, he could be in a little trouble here if the Helling Blast makes. He does some fancy footwork. The Duke is good. Vanilla comes to give him the heal. That was almost going to be a little bit of a sticky situation. You can see both teams, they're so hungry for kills. All while this was happening there, Ryu is finally getting some good value in that top lane.
Anytime he's left to his own device, he will punish him. He's saying, cool, Malthael, if you want to go for that gank, if you want to force that fight like your team con is built for, I will abuse the fact that I can just run around this map. I will abuse the fact that I can jump into the fight through these bushes at any chance necessary. And once again, as a result of that, Vandy, they slightly get back with an XP advantage that they built up so far during this game.
Yep. I mean, Nomia, they look well on track for level 16. However, John, he has been Howling Blasted. Luckily, he's got team members there to back him up. It's actually forced Darkseid to disengage. That could have been sticky. It's good that Nomia, when it counts, they're together, essentially. They're never too far from each other. So it's really punishing Darkseid in that they're not able to get a kill. And likewise, actually, both teams. This has been a very low kill game. Only 3 and 2. Very, very equal.
Yeah, 5 kills across the board, but they're looking for more. Dark Shields, Divine Shield is available. Fan94 coming in from the flank, and he's going to gust in onto moves, but the fort is about to drop. Who else might drop? Sashin is low. Go for the throat, comes across it. Cannot find the execution once again. And now Robodova brings the pain. Tormented Souls applying Reaper's Mark. They're 4 different people. And they can get the people, they can get the kills, they get a double kill, and the extended team fight is exactly what the Darkseid had want, and they get it.
They finally do. A big changing factor of that fight was the Tormented Souls coming in doing so much damage. The Black Harvest, 144 stacks out of 150, meaning that Robodova didn't even have that completed, and the Reaper's Mark was still doing enough damage to finish to tick and get those kills.
Back to the drawing board for Nomia. They literally just hit 16 there. Could have made a world of difference for them, but seems to be the strat for them right now is we can't find these kills. We have to play macro. We have to get kills on individual members. I believe every single kill, correct me if I'm wrong, Vandy, has been on Robodova in that top lane.
So far, yeah, it has been. On the side of Nomia, yeah, because it's been Fat94 rotating up or another person as well going with him to really secure the kills. He is very immobile, that Malthael, so he is quite prone to ganks as well. But Dragon Knight now, Skimmy is pushing on hard, and this is now starting to get to be a mid game Dragon Knight. So with that, it comes scaling with the damage that it does, as well as the experience. Life bar that it gets.
Well, Darksider for the first time during this game finally find an XP lead. John gets aggressive, looks for the kill, wants to get onto Demise. This is really punishing Nomia. That's 3 different times it's happened. He's jumped in but was unable to find the kill. Demise is lucky he lives. But that's exactly what Nomia is saying. We're saying, well, if you're looking to try and get away, I am not going to let that happen. The punch comes across. He's looking for the flight. Both Haki and Demise are low. There is no energy for Moops right now. And he wants to try and keep this team sustained.
He needs to, and that's, I guess, a little bit of the trouble that Oriole can run into. If your 2 primary Pope generators are a little bit low and it's not safe enough for you to go out, you are literally a setting dark. Sashin, though, we can see Nomia, they sense Assassin. The Dragon Knight's going to expire. This is them going to be able to collapse on it. No, they're not going to overextend. They're not going to overcommit. Smart thing to do.
He sidesteps onto that Howling Blast. He was too low. He's too squishy. Falls to back on out from this one, and still Darksider to keep this XP lead. Ryumak the entire time, not phased, not panicking. He's not baited out by the need to join his team. He is just happy as can be pushing this top lane, and he picks up a fort for his troubles.
No, there's great communication coming out. Anytime he can seek value, like you said, anytime he's left his own devices, that's all he really needs to do. And it was good of Nomia, I was saying, very showing a lot of restraint not to take the fight under that fort. It would have punished them so badly. Because although Darksider had to back, it wouldn't have taken them much time. Sasha would have bought a lot of time just with how tanky Arthas is, as well as Army of the Dead.
We are playing for late game now, Vandy. Such a tense game. 7 kills only here, but there goes the face check. Penta's looking for that one. He's going to dodge on out. Gus comes across as he power slides through. Nearly gets met with a Detainment Strike, and a Howling Blast would have been a very scary situation for them. But as I said, yeah, looking to go for that level 20, looking to abuse the fact that they will have the globals, potentially the Epic Mount, potentially the improved Brush Stalker, and just really start to out-rotate. It's been showing signs of glory, but any time they try and meet them head-on, Darksider are always getting the kills.
Yep, Darksider much more suited to teamfight, and that's their strongest composition. I mean, they've been together as a team long enough that, but this is where we picked up that they really are able to shine. They really want to force those fights. They draft very aggressively so that they can take the team fights. Whereas Nomia, this one, it's all about splitting them up and making sure that they can get the advantage either by forcing a 4v5, as we saw by picking up Robodoba in those top lanes, in those kills that you said. So no further kills have happened since.
Team's going to start to group a lot more now as we're reaching the later stages of this game. Level 19 just acquired by Darksider. Shrines spawning in 5 seconds. Looking for that one pick as respawn timers will be long, and that's all you need to acquire some pressure. Rotations, communication, and the ability to find kills really is key right now as Haki is looking to achieve just that.
Haki's laying down the poke. That's the irritation that Lunara can bring. It's a bit of a sticky situation for Nomia. And I say that because, once again, Darksider, they're at that point where they just want to group as much as possible. This could go potentially sour. Ryumak, he's not going to be able to get away. Gus has to be popped there. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to get away. No, sir. He's just too immobile for that.
Yeah, he doesn't have the adaptation. He cannot survive with the isolation, looking for the pick, looking for the kill, not for the survival. Does force out the Gus, and arguably Darksider would be quite happy with that one, but now they're looking for a trade. Robodoba thought he was safe, thought he could pick that one up, but they're going to go for the fight. They need to get these fights quickly, though, because if Nomia don't get a kill right now, they just lose and sustain, and once again, Robodoba jumping in, race strike across, applying the Reaper's Mark to everybody. 3 people dropping, 3 people dying, but Greymane, this time, will not fail. He gets the kill. Divine Shield's not even there. Greymane does fall. It's a 1-for-1. Can they get Robodoba? He's down to 120 health.
They do manage to pick him up, but the Reaper's Mark, it might be enough to get Ryumak. It's ticking down. Vanilla luckily gets the heal. So that actually is a trade that goes in favor of Nomia. Everything said and done, it worked in their favor. Fat 94 now, he's flying down to this bottom shrine. Except there will not be able to be a Dragon Knight being captured unless they're able to fight in the cooldown, in the respawn time that we've gotten these 2 members of Darksider.
There we go, both teams were 20. As I mentioned, Epic Man is locked in for Falstead, and same with the Apex Predator. Both really looking to utilize those goggles even more than they have so far, and this is when a good team can coordinate quite well. They can abuse the fact that, look, you're Darksider, you're wanting to try a team fight, but we can just play you around. Penta can slow things down, and as a result of that, look at it. They get the rotations, they get the dragon.
It's at that point where dying will just cost you terribly. The timers are very long. You can make a lot happen, and Nomia know how to do it. And especially, as you said, respect those globals. By empowering them with their storm talents, it'll be all the more scarier. This is where Nomia could potentially be looking to get a win. But Darksider, once again, if push comes to shove, they've got the team fight comp. And now all of them are online. They also have their Storm talents unlocked.
No risky business for Nomia. They're going to go straight to the bot lane, finish off what they started. They exposed the fort early, and now they're going to finish it late. And that dragon is packing a punch, but they have the Malthael, and Malthael alone does so much work to shred this one down. The blind comes across from the sweeping strikes, and they do get the fort, but that's all they're going to be able to find.
So Robodoba, he did not opt for No One Can Stop Death, instead opting to get Final Curtain. So if he does die, there is no second chance on that Malthael. It's not going to be like a Diablo where he can come back. He has not opted for that. So all the more important to stay alive. It's going to come down to these last few team fights. Both teams know. Well, last team fight, because times are just this... we've got all keeps exposed now, and time isn't now long enough so that you can actually take a keep and probably push through to the core.
Absolutely, yeah. As you mentioned as well there, Vandy, he's opted for the final curtain, so looking for more team fight pressure as opposed to the ability to say, if we do lose these fights, I can come back and we can try and keep ourselves in this race. But yeah, as you mentioned, at 20 minutes into this game with level 20s unlocked as well, keeps are a must. They are unlocked, and they will be available to allow them to go for a core call as well. But you can sense the pressure, the tension. To start for best of 3 series, nobody wants to start off the season saying we are the weaker team.
They really don't. And I mean, it's also stopping plays. Like, we have seen that Falstad and the ETC work quite interestingly in the past. Almost those like Gus into moshes. We have not seen Darksider either give him a chance or Nomia feeling confident enough. They are quite tricky to pull off, but that's another way of playing it. They've got Holy Cow, they can save the Greymane from diving. But I mean, John, he got the kill, and that was a big factor, I think, in really assisting Nomia to turn that fight, because if that kill had happened first on the side of Darksided, it would have enabled Demise on that leaning to get the resets and really turn the favor. So that's, I think, a big factor of how they won that fight as well.
Just watching the minimap here, Vandy, watch the way Nomia control this one. Darksided constantly clumped up as a 5-man, trying to find these kills if they're not wave clearing, but Rio is playing it patiently. He's waiting, he's sitting down there, he's saying, look, I'm not going to get picked off for free. I have the ability to brush Stalker out whenever I need. The other boys are stuck as a 3-man squad, and Fausted ready to jump in at any time necessary with that epic mount. And this is cool. It's good to see that they can abuse that fact, but as soon as that one fight comes across, if they lose it, Darkseid will just flat out win the game.
I think both teams are waiting for that shrine. Will it come down to do or die for either team? It's getting really tough. I mean, you can sense the tension, I feel, as well.
Talking of tension, they're going to look for this one as Penta is forced to use the power slide out. Not going to connect with the Thornwood Vine. Not going to be able to slow him down. 10 seconds on the shrines. During this downtime, Vanny, let's talk about the damage in this game so far. 48,000. Number 1 coming out of Haki's Lunara. Second to the Greymane from John at 44,000.
In that top lane, that 94, he's capping it. Epic Mount gets him out. Ryu was forced to use the Tunning Claws to get out. It was looking quite scary. We saw Darksider waste no time. As soon as they saw both globals in the top lane, Sashin was keen to try and get a pick.
Yeah, this is it though. John is going to say, I don't have the global, but they have the ability to clear waves quickly, the ability to pick up this as well, and he's going to rotate through, allow Fat94 now to take the reins in that one. And you can see, once again, Darksider sticking as the squad, hungry for a kill. One person just to make one misstep, and it's all said and done.
Yeah, Sashin, he's trying to pick a fight. He knows that they can win in a 5v5. A small pause has been called by Moops. So on the side of Darksider, we can continue taking stock. So as you were saying, Skimmy, the damage numbers, they're huge. This is now a 22-minute game. This is a long game now. Heroes of the Storm, I mean, anything after 20 minutes we start to consider long. And that means that the Dragonite is scaling during the entire time. So all the minions, the timers will be so stacked that it really does come down to the next team fight.
This is Heroes of the Storm at the highest level, at least for the ANZ region only. You can tell by the fact that there is little to no kills, and these people aren't finding scrappy fights. They're making sure that if we are going in, we are looking to make it a decisive shockwave, as opposed to, should I just try and do this? And that's exactly what has been happening in some of these other games. You can just see the differentiation of the level of play. But it is a pause. We're just waiting to see what the call is on that. But yeah, bit of curiosity in the chat actually as to why Apex Predator was picked up. I mean, you can see it's playing into the idea of what Nomia want. They want the global pressure. They don't want the ability to fight, which was what the Essence Clause would bring to that table. So that is the difference of the strats. Moops giving us the bait, saying he's ready, but then saying wait.
Ready, wait. So just stop right now. And just looking as well on the side. So Nomia have equalized the kills. So it's now 5 apiece. But they have one more fortification over Darkseid. That top fortification stands strong. And that's really been, I think, a lot to Ryu, just constantly pushing back.
Absolutely. Once again, they are playing chicken. Everybody's running around, just waiting for that one person to make one misstep. As the Globals, the buddies, both Fausted and Dahaka sitting pretty in the top lane, looking to try and do something. I would like to see them try and abuse that even further, look to try and pressure a keep or some kind of structure, forcing this Darkseid roster to split apart. Otherwise, Darkseid command the pressure off this map, saying, you can't avoid us forever, and if you do, well, we just find a kill.
Like I said, it comes down to the shrines. What's going to happen here? So I like that Fat94 has to accompany Ryumak. People might be saying, well, why do you have both Globals in lane? It's because every time that we've seen Ryumak be alone, we start to see Darkseid immediately make the call to try and pick him off. Kind of what we saw happen, unfortunately, in the Western Clash to Fat94, who was playing Dahaka, and that was made by Gale Force Esports. It's the same call. So by having the Faustad there, he can gust away and allow Dahaka to get out.
Macro call made by Darkseid here. Pick up the Giants. Take theirs, take ours. Let's keep some pressure up in his bot lane. Give ourselves a potential that if we do get a decisive team fight, we then have a win condition through that exposed bot lane. But Dahaka and Fausted once again staying tight in this top lane. And this is what I'm liking to see from them. Cool. Try and push a keep. Try and force the fact. And then abuse the fact that Darkseid cannot respond instantly with a global of their own.
I mean, you've got the top one capped. It's all good. They're just scared. They are scared. And will it come down to a base race at this point? I mean, the call has been made by Darkseid to start to siege. Ryumak, he's sitting pretty. Fat94 has now B. Okay. This could be it, potentially. If Darkseid don't run away and they bring the fight on, Nomia could have to be forced to fight now.
It's interesting to see. Robodover's positioning. He's sitting back at the shrine, waiting for that one person to try and ninja cap. Not going to happen. The aggressiveness is not going to come across at this stage of the game as we approach the 25-minute mark. Both teams just so scared to make one move. And this seems to be a case of almost what we see when it comes to the finals, the very first game of the day. Both teams just started really feeling each other out, saying, we don't know how the series is going to pan out. We want to sort of see what you bring to the table with this new roster, with this new lineup. And after this first game, usually the tension and the relaxation starts to come across.
It really has, Skimmy. I mean, we're saying the same things again and again because neither team wants to commit the resources to a fight. So what I'm seeing is that Darkseid, they're too scared to siege. Same as Nomia. They're just taking the front wall and running with it. Aki now as well. Any cancer they can get, that's great, but nothing. They're just playing Ring Around the Rosie and hide and seek. I think that's what's going on. We saw Darkseid in the bot lane. Now we've got Nomia in the bot lane. We see Nomia in the top lane. Like, it's almost just like cat and mouse. When are they going to meet? This could be it. Finally, both shrines taken out by Nomia. And they do have that bruise, that night camp pushing on in.
It really is the case of people waiting for that one kill. Like I said, I want to wait for that one pick, that one potential shot. They now bait it out. They say, cool, go for the dragon. We're going to try and force this fight. We're tired of waiting around for this one. The heals come across onto John. He is in a bit of a rough situation right now. Ryu burrows in. He's not going to be able to find that one tongue. Knights are pushing top lane, aiming towards a keep, which is good. If they can delay this for a little bit longer, this gives Nomia a window to start working with.
It does. They've got their resources in that top lane. They want to clear out that camp. Sashin has tried to go down to the bottom lane, but it seems that all members now of Darkseid, they want to protect the Dragon Knight channel, the Dragon Knight cap instead. Nomia know that. They've got Penta being the living lord in that brush. They've got that vision. Fat94 now looks like he's going to try and make a push with the Night Camp onto this keep.
You know what I'd just love to see, Vandy, is if they don't decide to try and push a keep, just divine shield somebody and go for the cap. You can't interrupt it. Yes, it's a big cooldown burn, but just force something. Because this passive-aggressive playstyle is starting to get stale, and it's really going to come down to whichever player or whichever team starts to lose their patience and just force a fight regardless of whether it's advantageous for them or not.
I mean, we're already losing our patience, so that's a good point that you bring out. It can come down to carelessness, and I mean, the stakes are so much higher when you've left the game to this state as well. I mean, a lot of people would argue other MOBAs, when you spend an hour and all you do is lose, it just feels awful. So just rip it off like a band-aid. With the keep now out of bullets, is this what the boys were waiting for? Both of them now forcing onto that keep. But Darkseid, if they realize that the call has been made, potentially it doesn't look like they're making any moves to back. They either have to push or go back.
This is the one big weakness of Darkseid's comp, is if they can't find kills, they can't really do too much. And finally we get to see the reactive play, the proactive play coming out of Nomia as both Fausted and Dahaka go for the keep. They finally take it down on the hardest lane arguably with that death bridge. They pick it up in the top lane, but still, back to the dance, back to the shrines. Nomia controlling top lane, Darkseid controlling bot lane. I want to see the shrines picked up. Divine Shield just comes across. Just pick up the dragon, burn the cooldown. We're at 28 minutes. That dragon alone will just win the game.
I think with Nomia as well, they can feel a little bit more confident. With their keep open now, say if their 3 members in the mid lane get collapsed upon, they could do the old Illidan backdoor trick to send 2 members, focus that cooldown, see if you can just get it down. You're at that point, we've got enough damage, I believe, to try and do it. You've got 1 tank, the Dahaka, you've got the damage coming out of Falstad. Like you said, just something. Now they do have the catapult pressure in that top lane. It will constantly push, which is good. It will really tie into their globals, put even more pressure on. But this is really starting to get down to that stalemate game, like you said, Skippy. We want to see something happen. Either team needs to take the initiative now.
Yeah, the slow play has really come across now as we reach the later stages of the late game, approaching that 30-minute mark. They are playing on Merc respawn timers. That's how dire and desperate things are coming across. But as we keep saying, respawn timers are so high. 1 misstep, especially on Malfair, we can't come back with that level 20 talent. And now we see Darkseid start to take an initiative. They've got the Knights. They want to push on in. They want to get a keep. They want to even up this ebb and flow of the map.
Both teams have made the call now. Fat94, he has 2 catapults.
He's on the core.
He's on the core by himself, but Darkseid, they're responding equally. 4 members of Nomia are left to defend.
Core is down.
He's gone for the cap.
Lunara goes in. She's the first one to fall on down, leaving a response as well. 2 people dead. The core is still dropping though. Fat94 is on it. It's down to 27%, but even Nomia is falling. GG's being called across. The most anticlimactic late game comes across as we suddenly see another kill. Uther is there, but he can top people up. He has redemption. It's just Robodoba taunting, looking at his old teammates, thinking, why? And Fat94 seals the deal shortly before 30 minutes.
The Globals sealed the deal finally at the end of the day, Skimmy. That was such a long game. We were both starting to get frustrated. I bet the chat was frustrated. The viewers at home getting a little bit frustrated. Almost a 30-minute game. And like I said, once Nomia had that keep down, it really was going to come to either team just making the call to go for it. They either need to defend. They need to be decisive, whether you defend or attack. Do it all at once. But it punished them because by committing 5 members, and the first to fall being the Lunara, just spelt disaster on the side of Darkseid.
Yeah, it seemed to be a game of cat and mouse for such a long time. And, you know, progressively, as it went on, the more and more indecisive Darkseid were in terms of saying, we can't push, we can't fight, what do we do? Let's just keep running around this map. Slowly by slowly, the double globals just out-trade. They always will win. They always do a lot more work venue. They pick up their keep. They have the potential to always backdoor for the core. And that final shot call, it was do or die. I mean, I respect them for doing it a little bit late. They would have had possible of opportunities to do it earlier in the game, but the one fight seals the deal. Nomia pick up game number 1 on their home territory, making this best of 3 a 1-0 in their trade. But I'm sure you all enjoyed it. All 165 viewers of you. I'm going to pass it back to Kit, folks, and let me and Vandy rest up.
Well done, Skimmy and Vandy. Like running a marathon there, you just had to stick it out, and that is exactly what the Nomia lads did. Darksided, well, they are not down and out yet. It is, of course, a best-of-3 series. It wasn't as clean-cut as we've come to know and love from Nomia, so they're still finding their place with those 2 new members, the 2 bowing out. But nevertheless, we will see what they can do coming up into the next round. That was Nomia with the number 1 seed. They chose Dragonshire for the 3rd time tonight, I believe it might have been. 2nd or 3rd time tonight. Definitely their home ground. They know what to do on that map, and they executed it there. Not perfectly, but they still got the win. A win is a win, nevertheless. So it's now going to have the coin flipped, and old Darkseid will get the choice of first ban or first map pick. Let's see what they decide. Shout out to the 170+ viewers in the Twitch chat, ladies and gentlemen. If you have just joined us and you are unaware, we are giving away another Garrosh skin bundle tonight. So type !GS HOTS into the Twitch chat and make sure that you're following the channel. It costs you nothing. It's just a couple letters. Get your hands on some sweet, sweet swag thanks to Blizzard ANZ. But don't go anywhere. We're going to take a very short break and we'll be back with game number 2 of Nomia versus Darksided right after.